All right, Grandma.
One of them's there because he loves it.
First question, what is something you were allowed to do but others weren't?
She could smoke all she wanted.
Oh,
Last thing
I
we were talking about.
What I was able to do and others weren't. I don't remember anything that whatever I was told. Oh, I could go and spend a lot of time with my mom. Because my mom was my best friend. And so, and even now my sisters are, I did get to spend a lot more time with her. But I would be able to go shopping with her, and when we were doing the canning, I would be able to go out and do some canning, but then there were other times that she'd say, oh, I want you to just stay in here and help do some cleaning. And so when I stayed in, then I was able to turn up the stereo in the living room and play some music and do what cleaning that my mom asked me to do. All of us had chores to do. And we were given, money. We never called it an allowance. My mom would just, she would send us down to Continental Bank in Midvale and give us so much money to put in our savings accounts. And all of us were so excited. Anyway, I was, because I loved to see my money grow. I love to be able to say, oh, yeah, this is my money. I mean, very seldom do I remember us taking money out of it. And I don't know if we took it out for Christmas or if we actually paid for our own schooling. I have no idea. I can't remember. All I know is it was a little paper book, and it kind of looked like a passport book, is what it looked like. And so, yeah, I remember doing that. But yeah, I guess my most memorable moment of being able to do something that nobody else could was be able to spend time with my mom.
Okay. What did you do when you were bored at home?
Oh, I learned it. Mom let me take accordion lessons. And I love to play the accordion. Oh my goodness. When I got bored over at the nursery and I was waiting for customers to come in, I'd sit there and I'd play my accordion. And even to this day, Chris will say, oh, I remember you sitting over there and playing your accordion. And when a customer would come in, then I'd put the accordion down and go help the customer. And if I still had more time to wait for customers to come in, then I would, be playing some more. But my dad would always say, oh, here's another fish. So when there was a customer that came in, I'd think, yep, gotta go catch another fish. Yep.
Okay. What books or toys meant the most to you as a child and why?
Oh, I loved going down to the library, the Sandy Library. There was a smell there. I just loved it, to be able to go and get the books. But I read the book on Helen Keller, and that made a big influence of my life. I always wanted to be, a teacher like her teacher was. And so that's what I always wanted to be when I grew up. I wanted to be a social worker. And but some of the books that I would read, one was For Whom the Bell Rolls.
Well, tolls.
Bill Tolls, Edgar Allan Poe, and I liked that book. I thought, well, now as an adult, I thought, oh, that's got to be a weird book to be reading. Or Grimm's Fairy Tales. When I'd go babysitting, I would do Grimm's Fairy Tales, and then my mom taught me how to knit. And I find that I do really well because I am a comfort eater. If I don't have something to do to keep my hands busy, then it's like I have to have chocolate or something to, you know, take care of that energy. And so anytime I can have a project that I can help, you know, help somebody with. I remember my mom doing projects for the American Legion, and she would make the slippers to put in to the up for the veterans. So she would make slippers, and she taught us how to make the little pom-poms, and then she would sew the pom-poms onto the slippers because they needed to look nice. They needed to look fancy for these people who are giving it to their parents or, you know, their loved ones. You know, I think I got the idea of actual service from a lot. I mean, my mom was one that really liked to be around others. I remember us always having the coffee pot on, and we were all taught how to make coffee. You had 3 tablespoons of coffee, and then you filled it full of water, and it perked. And matter of fact, side note, my second job with Aero Industries, the boss, he was a stake president. His 2 sons were kind of little rednecks, and then I had Norm Gonzalez, and he liked his coffee in the morning. And I got there one day, and I was so ticked. I thought, you know what? I don't know how many pots of coffee I have to make, and I don't even drink it. What's the point to this? And I ran that past somebody, and they said, well, you do realize, I think it was Jerry said, you do realize that you may make the best damn Relief Society coffee around. And once he said that, I was fine. I was okay in making the coffee, because I knew that, you know, it was being appreciated. That was the whole thing. I just kind of needed to know that somebody appreciated what I was doing. Yeah, my dad taught us about service too, because the ward would have some sort of a function, and they would need plants for that function, and he would let them, you know, take the plants, and then they'd bring them back. So, you know, I feel like I grew up in a family that was concerned for their fellow man.
If you could recreate anything from your childhood home, what would it be?
baskets on the front porch with the geraniums in, and the great big picture window that we were able to look out west. Well, and in front, we had the rose garden. There was a beautiful rose garden. And it wasn't a small one. It was a big rose garden. That rose garden was probably as big as this bed, if not bigger. Yeah, I would recreate the front of my house because I liked it.
How many houses did you live in?
We were in the little house which turned into the business, and then my mom and dad built the big house next door. And everybody thought we were rich because we had a big house. But we weren't. I mean, my mom, she was 8 months pregnant, I think, and was trying to get put the flooring down and get the house finished before we moved from the little house, which the little house was, I mean, it was like a studio apartment. And you had Skip and Barry and me and Butch all in.
Barry, you.
And Butch, or Elvin Jr. or whatever. And so, you know, there were, 6 of us in a house that would be the size of my living room. And we survived, and then on that house, that little house, then you went out the back of it. I guess Dad took the back of that building off, and that's how he set up the greenhouse. And so the greenhouse was actually on the back of what we called the little house.
So is the little house where you would check out customers?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Is the little house still there?
No.
But the big house is, right?
Yep, the big house is still there.
Okay. What was your favorite food to eat, and when did you get to eat it?
I like barbecue chicken and rice because our friends Hannah and Lloyd would come for Sunday dinner. We would barbecue the chicken, and then I would fight Lloyd for the tail, and he would tease me. And then we always had rice, and then Hannah would make quite possibly some sort of a cake, a neat cake, and it would have like whipped cream on the top of it, but it was just so extremely good. But sometimes we would have Chinese food. They would cook up Chinese food. I was exposed to egg bouillon, where you had the Brussels sprouts, and all you had to do was you had bean sprouts. But you would take those and you'd have your egg, and I guess a little bit of flour, and they would season it with the accent, and then you'd put it in a pan and fry it. And there were times when we'd have sweet and sour pork. I love sweet and sour pork. That was one of my favorite dishes.
You get that on Sunday dinner too?
On what?
On Sunday dinner?
Oh, we would have it anytime. Anytime that, you know, things weren't any different on Sunday than they were on Saturday. I mean, on any other day of the week. Because every night we sat down and we ate together. And, you know, that's the way it was. You ate your meals together. I mean, we would fix dinner, and you would set the table and put the food out, and you'd all sit down and eat.
How long did dinner last?
Probably an hour.
What did you help with?
Oh, I was usually in charge of, I think, sometimes I was in charge of preparing some of the food. Sometimes, you know, my mom would say, okay, go set the table, and I would go set the table, or, oh, can you go get this from downstairs? This needs to be put in here. With me being the oldest, I was just her assistant. It's basically what it was. Whatever she needed, I was more than happy to help her with. But my mom was never the one that ever gave us a job to do that she didn't show us how to do it. It was never, oh, you know what, go out and weed that section over there. It was, okay, come on, this is what we're doing today. Okay, you're in charge of that section, that section, that section, and when you've got the sections done, then come on in, and, you know, we'll have lunch, and then, you know, you can go down to Size Market for a treat.
Okay.
I mean, it was always very positive, so. My goodness.
I'm gonna pause this, I'm gonna stop this one and then start again.